what gets you outside? Is it sweat? Or is it show?
Go up 50 meters.
Actually, let's shoot this right now.
Roger, standing by.
Is it friendship or followers? Is it community or cliques?
The thrill of victory and the agony of defeat.
Is it DMs or drops?
Hey, guess what? It's a Subaru!
The Subaru Justy, inexpensive and built to stay that way.
Is it risk or reward? Where do you draw the line between commercial and wild?
You know, I think it comes down to people being able to recognize themselves in the advertising. It used to be where advertising would make everything look really, in some ways, artificial and ideal, that people would aspire to these shiny kitchens and, you know, all these products that were going to make everything beautiful and shiny. And I feel like now the trend is more towards reflecting the way people actually live. They can recognize themselves and say, oh, wow, those people are like me. I could do that. I can be out there. I think people like to recognize themselves now more than find something that is sort of unnatural and unattainable.
My name is Kelly Ronconi. I am a brand strategy account manager here at Fuse. I am the team manager for the Mountain Dew Action Sports team, so our team of skateboarders and snowboarders. Fuse has actually been working with Mountain Dew for over 20 years. One of our partners reached out to Mountain Dew and wanted to start an action sports platform with them. I think what Mountain Dew does and what we try to do with our Mountain Dew strategy is authentically support the sports that we're into, so action sports specifically. When it hits a passion point, it's going to resonate with you a lot more than something that you might not be interested in or might not identify with.
I mean, skateboarding has been used and abused in marketing since the beginning of time, you know, just like Disney movies and frickin' any commercial you can think of. My name's Devin Bernard. I'm from Madison, Connecticut originally, and currently I'm the filmer for Sugarbush Resorts, specifically the parks over there, specifically snowboarding. I think that when bigger brands come on, they're really just trying to get as close to that core lifestyle feeling, because there is nothing, to me, more comforting than that.
I think outdoor companies are capitalizing on that look, the outdoor look. So you go to Manhattan, you can see people walking down the street in their $400 puffy and their hiking boots, and they may not have ever gone for a hike in their life, but they want to be seen as outdoorsy, kind of living the lifestyle. My name is Chris Bennett. I am from Portland, Maine, and I'm a freelance photographer, and I've been shooting professionally for 14 years. When I plan a shoot for a client, there's a lot of repetition.
Right, back just a little bit.
Do it one more time. Yeah.
Let's say with Andrew Drummond up in Tuckerman Ravine, I've got a shot of him turning and shooting up a nice powder stream He's backlit, the sun's behind him, it's a beautiful bluebird day. What people don't realize is that wasn't a whole run for Andrew. He basically skied the same 20-foot line, made 2 turns, took off his skis, went back up, and we did it over and over and over again until I felt like I had the shot that I wanted.
I see the commercialization of imagery of skiing of the East Coast or just anywhere in the US. I see it 2 ways. You know, you can have it one way where it's completely fake, commercialized, but there's no real story behind it. But then the other end, I see the raw beauty of like real adventuring, that people are really getting out there and they're not just shooting something just to shoot something. It's part of a bigger story. My name is Andrew Drummond. I run a ski shop up in Jackson, New Hampshire called Ski the Whites. And I didn't feel that enough people had shared some of the experience or some of the imagery of winter in the White Mountains.
I think what you see in advertising today is a lot of storytelling. You see real people living their lives, doing the things that they like to do, and a brand is trying to attach themselves to that. So if that is part of that brand's attributes and their personality, you'll see it come to life through the story that they're telling. My name is Sarah. I am from Martha's Vineyard, so I am a Vermont transplant, and the reason I came to Vermont is because I have a passion for the outdoors. You know, everyone makes fun of the millennials and their avocado toast and how we're all out there, but millennials lead from a point of passion. They really crave more than just a status when it comes to a brand. They crave the story. They crave that brand's commitment. They crave a connection. They crave a deeper relationship. And I think that's where you start to see more of that story come to life for brands that are doing it well.
When you think about young people, a lot of it is, I'm not just snowboarding, but I am a snowboarder. And so that sense of identity is powerful and empowering.
The reason that I got into snowboarding is because snowboarding is a culture, and I was just like caught into every part of it, and I was like, fuck, dude, like, this is it, like, this is what I'm looking for. It was a vibe, it was a vision, it was a full life, and I think a lot of people want to see themselves in that world.
When I see other content produced by other people, it definitely inspires me. So I'm Zach Walbridge, I'm from Burlington, Vermont, and I shoot video and take photos. I'm always looking to see what people are doing. You know, I don't want to be copying other people, but you gotta find inspiration somewhere, and a lot of times it's easy to get inspired and psyched when you see someone else's photo. You know, if you see somebody, you know, slaying an insane powder turn, when I see that, if it's done really well and done clean and looks great, it just inspires me to go out and, you know, trying to do something similar.
We also get to do a lot of really awesome content projects. So Danny Davis and Peace Park was something that Mountain Dew created and is a really great example of taking an athlete's passion, giving them the ability to make it happen, and creating a platform that speaks to the broader audience and isn't just a logo slap on something that's already happening. If these brands are coming in here and allowing, even if it's just a few skateboarders to make their living off of skateboarding, I think that's pretty awesome. I think that's a pretty positive outcome. And if it helps our industry grow and reach more people and ultimately not helps it survive, I think it's pretty positive.
Social media is kind of this really interesting thing with sports and adventure photography, because you have these professional photographers who are making a ton of money being commercial adventure photographers that have absolutely no presence on social media. And then on the flip side of things, you have these photographers who have, you know, millions or if not hundreds of thousands of followers who are making literally nothing. Right now, there's, like I said, there's just so many people that are involved in this, and it's just become so oversaturated that it's really hard to differentiate yourself from anybody else on social media. You do have this whole kind of globe of social media that is just producing the same stuff again and again and again and again and again. So if you're trying to stay relevant with that, you're just going to end up producing the same stuff as everybody else, and you're going to be featured on Insta Repeat.
The common thing is to call it the highlight reel. Looking at my own, I can be like, okay, yeah, I'm literally posting mountain and ski pictures all the time, and I've had many people come up to me being like, do you work? And I'm like, yeah, 40, 50 hours a week. It depends on the week, but I work all the time. So I'm guilty of it myself, of only posting what I want to post.
Now you see it every day on your phone. just with the ability for people beyond professional athletes to get content out on their own channels of them at their local skate park doing the next trick that they just worked on and landed, to anyone on the mountain being able to take their phone out and film themselves snowboarding. It's kind of huge in progressing action sports a lot quicker, I think, than they might have progressed in the past.
Honestly, like, if you're trying to be a professional snowboarder or an athlete, like, yeah, you need to have an Instagram. You need to stay on top of that and show people what you're doing, because that's what your career is. And hopefully you enjoy it. Hopefully it doesn't get in the way of the things that you're really doing, like snowboarding with your friends. You know, if it does, then maybe you need to reconsider how you're going about it.
There are a lot of upsides to it for marketing and branding yourself, but at the same time, I think it does just create people who are constantly looking at their phone or like not living for the moment, and they're just making content so other people think that they're part of the community and were there that day to be included, when it should just go back to, in my personal opinion, that you go out to go have fun that day.
Awesome. Yeah, my name's Travis Kerr. I own Splinters Board Shop. I already forgot everything you just said, but yeah. Does that work? Yeah, cool.
People, how you doing? It's the Snow Report. We got boxes going out. We're loving life. It's another beautiful day. Snow Report. It's a big day for all of us because I got a new phone. It's the Snow Report. We're here. It's Thursday. There are a lot of cars driving up the road already. It's like it snowed or something.
Before, I joke that social media is everything. It's probably 90% of our marketing and advertising now, which is hard to believe because it is so focused and so targeted, and half the people that see us follow us. So it's not like we're maybe getting fresh eyes, but it's created such a loyal community that if we post a new shop tee in a color, it sells. We directly see results translating from social media to dollars in the register. So now all of a sudden there's a place where people that are really into the shop and into the scene at Sugarbush have a place they can see us. And now we do snow reports every morning. We realize, like, wow, people really watch this and they get a kick out of it. So let's just make it a normal thing. And now it's every time I see someone, it's like, hey, the snow reports. I point a phone at somebody and they're like, hey, snow report time. People just know. They think of us with the Splinter Snow Report. We have a relationship with Sugarbush Parks that we're an official sponsor for all of Sugarbush Parks marketing material. So Bush League edits, which they come out with, we have a logo on there. Devin Bernard, who's filming all that this year, is amazing, doing crazy edits. The few that he's posted so far have been awesome. So we're hyped to just be a tag along just on those.
I grew up on snowboard edits. 2.5 to 4.5 minute long videos were my jam. And over the years, it's just like the views on actual online videos have just gone down infinitely. Where you are seeing the viral views is on Instagram. That one clip, and you'll scroll through and you'll be like, holy shit, it has 5 million views. The reality of it is people's attention spans, they can't finish a full video anymore.
Gotta love the cell phone clips for the stories. Like, that's what it all is. It used to be such a process, and there was like one homie that had the camera and everybody else just rode with that homie so they could get shots. And now you don't even want to deal with a camera. You have a phone in your pocket anyway, so you take that out, it's HD. Half of the times you can put a fisheye on it with a depth lens or something. But cell phones and GoPros, wow. To think about where it was 10 years ago, even to now. Forget the Canon GLs and the Sony VXs. It's iPhones and Androids. Yeah.
I don't personally watch cell phone clips on Instagram of snowboarding. The internet is too saturated with them already that, like, unless something really crazy is happening in the first second, I'm gonna scroll past it and not even give it a second look, so.
You guys wanna run?
Sure.
noticing people's confidence has definitely been skewed, I think, via social media, right? Because you see everybody's really good adventures and not their really bad adventures. My name is Carly Tucker, and I co-lead the North Faces Trail Tribe located in Boston.
My name is Stephen Horai. I am from Stoneham, Massachusetts, and I am a co-leader with the North Face Trail Tribe. We have people that are highly experienced trail runners, and then we have people that are coming out for the first time ever on trails. It's so tough in today's environment where we have this, like, you want to be insta-famous mentality of everything I have to do, it has to be one step better or more amazing than, you know, the next person. And unfortunately in mainstream media, all you ever see is this amazing person on these pristine trails, running these, you know, long, beautiful strides, you know, super stoked, super excited. And the fact of the matter is, I've run more garbage miles than I have run miles that I'm stoked. But you know what? You train for the days where you're in the shits. And so when the days that you are great and you're good and everything comes together, it's the best feeling in the world.
Trends, it's really easy to fall into. Companies are good at marketing and showing, like, for instance, a trail runner wearing Hoka shoes running through a buffed out trail out west, and it's really easy to be like, okay, I'll buy that, I'll look like that.
It's been absolutely incredible how our community has taken our social media posts and basically ran with them, where, you know, we had at one point 10 or 15 people posting, if you need a ride, I can bring you. And, you know, it was really great to see that because it just added another layer of accessibility to what we're trying to do with the Trail Tribe.
It's a community, and I enjoy the community aspect of it. I'm not a fast runner. I'm a back of the pack, mid-pack, like, there for the party, there for the community. It's the joy. People just come out, and that's why they keep coming back. Getting people from their usual routines of road running and of doing treadmill workouts in the winter and getting them outside even when it's pretty uncomfortable, like 37 and pouring rain.
My ideal photo is just kind of making New Hampshire and New England as a whole look badass. And what I hope that I can do with that is inspire people to get outside. Like, you know, they may see that, or, you know, for example, they may see a tagline from another company like just do it or never stop exploring, and that might encourage them to get out there and try something. Yes, they may be completely new when they get out there, but the more people we can bring into the outdoors, the better off we are.
The question is now, is it too mainstream, right? Is the outdoor world too mainstream and people are getting hurt? There's accidents on Mount Washington more frequently than we would like to admit because people get themselves into really bad situations because everybody now has access to it. And it's not just a small community anymore.
Killing it. Getting into ice climbing was really easy, especially where we live in the White Mountains. The Ice Fest really is a huge help because it's a weekend in February every year that you can plan on, and they offer so many different varieties for whatever you're interested in. In the past 5 years, I have noticed a significant increase in the climbing community. More and more people want to try it, more and more people are out there.
It allows you to have a precision swing.
Did you think like this then for me?
It looks pretty good.
Like
It
if
looks,
I just have it hanging
I think there's a lot of benefits from action sports that people tap into, whether it's confidence building, whether it's facing fears, whether it's kind of pushing your limit and getting that little bit of an adrenaline rush.
Sorry, not turning, I'm side flipping.
You're fine.
I'm a mom, and so I want to motivate my daughter, and so when I mentioned that I come to do crazy ice climbing, a lot of my friends want to try it. The Ice Fest is just a really, really cool place to be. A lot of like-minded people who love environment, love being outdoors in the winter, so.
Still learning how to
stand into my own skis. Alright.
Don't forget to lift the two-piece up.
Yep.
There's backcountry skiing, and that, which is still small, is drawing from all these outdoor spaces. So it's drawing mostly from alpine skiing, but you're also getting it from Nordic skiing, you're getting it from triathletes, winter hikers. Everyone's curious because there's new gear coming out now, and it's getting more attention. In one regard, you want to keep everything to yourself. You want the first tracks, you want some solitude, you want this to be your own experience. But on the other hand, we want more people to participate because then we can increase the skiable terrain in New Hampshire.
Someone wanted to build a hotel on the Cog Railway, and there was a lot of arguments for and a lot of arguments against. We do want to keep our natural areas wild, but at the same time, we want to give the opportunity for people to experience that. What if somebody in a wheelchair wants to go and stay on the side of Mount Washington? Who are we to deny them that opportunity? Or somebody with a physical impairment. And yeah, you can drive to the top, but it's just a whole different experience staying up there, and they can't hike up to the AMC cabins, and they can't do anything like that. So just the ability to kind of get people involved and get people really interested in the outdoors so they will help protect it. I think we're seeing that right now, and that's why we're seeing more exploration in wilderness areas and really remote areas.
That's a little better than
I mean, I've always been a photographer, but I never treated it like photography as a job. It was just a hobby. The coolest thing that's happened is over the past several years is I've really realized the value in imagery and the power of it. I never had the intention of getting paid.
Until about, I think it was 2 years ago, I had a full-time job as the manager of photography for an endurance photo company. And I decided to leave that and pursue my own career in freelance photography. And I knew it was going to be really difficult, and I knew that I would take a huge pay cut. But I really decided that was what I wanted to try to do. But it was all just a lie. Again, all these people on social media make you think brands will just fall over you. They'll pay you money for these photos, or they'll give you product that you can, then use to take photos that you'll then sell. In the beginning, until you can kind of get yourself established as a real photographer. It was hard work, and in the end, I ended up going back to a full-time job because I really missed the stability and, more than anything, the mental toll that it has on you as an artist. A lot of people will say that as an artist, you're only as good as your last piece of art was, and I never really understood that until it was my full-time job. You would go out and you would shoot and you would get something great and you would be riding on a high and you'd be thinking, oh yes, I can do it, I can make it as a photographer. And then a week later, nothing else has happened, you haven't gotten out on these shoots, or you have and you haven't produced anything good, and you are just as low as you could possibly be. You're worthless, it's not worth doing, this isn't working out, you need to find a job. And then, inevitably something would come along and it would kick you back into that high. But like that roller coaster of emotion is just brutal. Yeah, I mean, I really don't know what the future is going to bring. I love being out here and I love taking these photos, and the artist is only as good as his last work was. And when I take awesome photos, I mean, I'm stoked on it. Like, that's the reason why I do it. I don't do it to make money. I do it because when I take the photo and I look at the back of the screen, like, I get psyched. In the end, if nobody wants to hire me, if nobody wants to pay me, I'll still be out here doing this. I'm always looking for a way to make this my full-time job and to get back to it. And it just depends what day of the week you ask me as to whether I'm gonna start doing it again in 2 days or 2 years.
Love the big D.
Being on the other side of an interview is fucking weird.
Every photographer.
Are you all set? Okay.
Yo, can you guys give me 5 minutes and just like not talk for a second?
All the photographers will cringe. This footage.